Good evening, hello,
Well,
and welcome to Final Boss Fight. My name is Jeff, and we are carrying on with our Call of Cthulhu campaign, Horror on the Orient Express. Tonight, I am joined by a full house. I'm joined by Brian Croy Dragon.
hello.
Dark Lord Richard.
Hello.
One Winged Angel.
Hiya.
Tara J.
Hi.
And Steamed Chew.
Hello.
And we are carrying on in the 1893 diary of Professor Smith. And Richard, you'd like to give us a recap?
Yes, I will. It's the year 1893. The Kingdom of Hawaii has just been overthrown, and Pepsi has been invented by some fella called Brad. But also, some intrepid adventurers boarded the Orient Express. So we were in, I believe, a small town in France to get on the train, and we met a journalist by the name of Eileen McGregor of some constituent part of the United Kingdom, but not England. I cannot remember which bit. And I'm terrible with accents. I'm going to say Scottish.
Yeah.
And who's a regular on the train, I believe. Her job keeps her travelling a lot. And we were greeted by a very amiable head train person of Henri, who was very good. And we went straight onto the salon car, which I believe is where like the bar is. And the key takeaway was my character Amelia very upset at the lack of table service. And felt that's something the Orient Express should provide. But we also saw in the salon a Count Razumovsky, a Russian aristocrat and his sort of entourage. And there was the person, Menkaph, who seems to very much be the villain of the piece. Who we've encountered him before, haven't we? Or we've crossed paths in some.
You've heard of him, yeah.
Heard of him, yes. And we had some tense moments in the salon involving Amelia upsetting the Russian aristocrat with talks of the Crimean War. And that journalist was there as well, Bentham. He was talking to Menkaph.
Yep.
Yes. See, I know what's going on. And they had a little chat, and then they separated at some point. And I think I feel like I'm missing someone who we spoke to in that salon car.
I think we're good. Eileen was there. McGregor was there.
Ah, yes. And Amelia had a bit of a... she played on the harpsichord. Now, at the time, I said it was Amazing Grace, but I in my retelling of it, I'm changing that, and it's going to be Under Pressure by Queen, which I know they didn't have that, but that's what I'm going for.
That's awesome.
And it was also, despite what anyone might think, and indeed the evidence of the particular session showed, a fantastic performance. That you had many ovations. And I believe then we pretty much all went to bed. And there was some disturbances in the night, if I remember rightly, of like some characters hearing some stuff. But it might have been screams or unsettling noises and unsettling images, but decided not to investigate. Because I think they were tired. And then we had breakfast, which is where things really kicked off. And our group sort of spread out and met with various people. And Barrington? Well, it's Bard, isn't he? He goes by.
Yes.
Yeah. Barrington had a chat with Menkaph, I believe, about his work and the woman he was with, who seemed upset. And Menkaph was being a bit aggressive or too familiar with this woman who seemed upset. And Menkaph was saying how he's a sort of doctor, a sort of healer, but was quite vague about exactly what this meant. And then the woman he was with went to, I think it was to use the bathroom or something along those lines. And my character Amelia followed her and asked Eileen to interview Menkaph just to keep him busy. And talking to this woman, she was Elizabeth Ellie Myers.
That's correct, yep.
And she was very upset because her husband was very ill, and Menkaph was treating him, but the whole thing seemed a bit suspicious and not right. And we learned that her husband Scott Myers he was very ill, wasn't he? Did he have a fez on, or was it?
He had a fez on.
Yes, and he was very ill, and immediately we were like, I was very concerned, and we spoke to Henri, and sort of said it seems like this woman's sort of been kidnapped. And then Amelia went back to the dining car. The rest of the party went to help Elizabeth, and I sort of kept an eye on Menkaph. And I think people were going to try and move Scott into another compartment where he'd be safer. And I think as he was being moved, it was like some sort of shadow monster attacked people.
Yep.
And they dealt with that fantastically. Just a bit of insanity and that sort of thing, and some magic spells. Because we used a spell to help Scott, heal him up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we found the book, the Whispering Fez.
That's correct, yep.
Which I think was under Scott's pillow or
Yes.
nearby to Scott.
It was under his pillow, yes.
Yes, yeah. And we took that. And then as Menkaph sort of managed to get away from Aileen, who's interviewing him, Amelia basically accused him of assaulting her, and as she often goes to pretend to be a very frail woman who fainted and screamed and cried and did everything she could to slow down Menkaph. And I think that's where we're up to.
That sounds about right. Okay, so we're going to carry on straight from where we left off. The Orient Express is thundering on its way. It's just like constant motion, apart from the few times when it stops every few hours or so, but it's just like this constant motion all the time. And I'm going to move us. We're going to start tonight in the cabin where everybody else is. So there we are. So just to show you the pictures. So the four of you, George Banks, Dr. Polat, Barrington, and Henri, and Professor Worth, have moved Scott Myers into the lower bunk in Amelia Meadowcroft's cabin, where you're currently making him comfortable. Barrington and George, you're still bleeding quite profusely because you took some rather nasty hits from that shadow monster last time, so you're still bleeding quite profusely. Just out of interest, who has the book? Who is that currently has the book, The Whispering Fez?
Who does have a Whispering Fez?
George was the one who actually found it, but George noticed that it was mainly the bulk of it was written in Persian, with a section of the back that was indecipherable. So would George keep it, or would George hand it off to somebody?
Sure, George would probably keep it.
Okay, just to remind you that two of the people in your party, I believe two of the people in your party can speak Persian, so if they wanted to, they could have you could give them the book to read at some point.
Okay.
But in the meantime, as you're getting settled and Ellie and Scott are getting settled in, Henri says, if you'd excuse me, messieurs, mesdames, I must return to the dining car and make an announcement. I must deal with the Menkaph matter. Please remain here until it is all over. I I will call
I
again
was
when
going to say,
the match is
before he
over.
goes away, Barrington kind of interrupts and says, try to do so discreetly.
Monsieur, trust me, Monsieur, this is not my first time dealing with a passenger of this nature. This is a matter for the company wagon Lee. I will see it is sorted out immediately. Please,
Very well.
please continue to make yourselves comfortable, and please do not leave until I return. And he will leave the cabin, head off down the corridor. Going to switch to the dining car, where Henri arrives in the dining car, and it's a scene of pandemonium. So Menkaph is currently on the floor, buried underneath Amelia Meadowcroft, and you have the Russian count like shouting obscenities at Amelia, accusing her of attacking this poor innocent person. You've got the other Russians, Kapok, you've got Egorov, you've got Perita, all trying to drag Amelia off Menkaph. Eileen is just busy shouting in support of Amelia. It's just like complete pandemonium. And Henri enters the car and says, Monsieur, Mesdames, please. Ladies and gentlemen, please. And slowly everything calms down and people return to their seats. And Henry Peters says, I regret to inform you there has been an accident on board the train and some of your fellow passengers have been injured. First of all, I must ask, is there a doctor aboard or someone with any medical knowledge or training? And for a few moments, it's all quiet. And then you see Karla Menkaph, the Russian maid. She looks over to the Countess, and the Countess gives her a nod, and she stands up and says, Da, I have some medical training. Is there a way I can be of assistance? And Peter says, Cabin number 3 in the sleeping car 1, please. They need your assistance there. Karla Menkaph bows and makes her way to sleeping car 1, where the rest of you are. Once she has left the cabin, Henri continues and says, Mesdames, Messieurs, please, I must ask you to please remain here in the dining car until this matter is dealt with. Monsieur Menkaph, would you come with me, please? So, as you all untangle yourselves, Menkaph stands up and he goes to leave with Henri Peters. Kapok stands up and looks like he's going to start a fight, but Menkaph just waves him back to his seat. And with that, Menkaph leaves with Henri Peters. As you are, you can arrange yourselves back in your. You can arrange us back in the seats if you want. Let's arrange back into the seats. As you're back into the seats, and the Count Razumovsky is looking very suspiciously at Amelia. Eileen leans over to Amelia and says, "What do you suppose that's all about, then?"
Off the record. I'm gonna ask her.
Oh, if it's juicy enough. Yeah, let's say off the record. Yeah, yes. For now, I'll let you have this one for free.
And I'm gonna say in a very hushed tone. I'm gonna say, there's been seems like some manner of kidnapping and all nefariousness going on involving that. Involving that Menkaph fellow.
Oh, I hope you'll give me an exclusive when it's all over. And just as Henri Peters leaves, he turns around and says, Michel, Pierre, please, more cafe for the passengers. And the two waiters come around and start giving more coffee. They slip you some more vodka, and Eileen asks you to show how to make cask.
Yeah, and I'm quite happy to do that.
So, I'm going to jump back to the cabin for the moment, for now. As the rest of you are in the cabin, there's a knock at the door. And it is Karla Menkaph, and she says, excuse me, I was told that there are some injured people here needing medical assistance. And she just trails off as she sees Scott Myers lying flat on the bed, pretty much unconscious. She sees Captain Barrington and she sees George Banks bleeding profusely from gashes on their bodies. And she just immediately goes straight into nurse mode, and she just starts bandaging people up. It's not comfortable, it's not painless, but it is efficient. And Barrington and George Banks, you can each regain 1 hit point. So you can add 1 hit point back to your characters. Awesome. And with that, there is nothing to do now but wait for Henri Peters. Unless it's a good time as any to read through the book, I think, if anybody wants to, or otherwise, you just wait and see what happens with Henri.
Well, I speak Persian, so if George wants to pass it over to me, I can have a look and try reading it.
George, how does that sound?
Righto, sounds good.
So, Professor Worth, as you sit down with this book, as I said, the bulk of it, probably about 2/3 of it, is written in Persian. You can't make head nor tail of the back section at all. That's just completely outside of your experience. But it's a very hefty tome, and looking at it, you think to yourself, this will take a full day to study properly, but you can try skimming through to see if any sections of it leap out. Get a summary of it. So make me a roll with your Persian language, please. Wow, hard success. So there is a handout I can give you now. Please read this out, Professor Worth.
Extracts from the Whispering Fez. On becoming a true master of the Fez, you must give yourself up to the blood-red Fez before it rewards you. Only by wearing the Fez, by risking that your will is weak and you are unworthy and will thus be consumed by the Fez, can you emerge tested and triumphant and able to channel its grand and terrible powers. Creation of subsequent Fezes. Once one has mastered the Fez, it is possible to spawn more which are alike in power to the first. This requires of the initial wearer a sacrifice of some small part of their soul, either his own or another's. In this way, each day another Fez can be brought forth into infinity. With each wearer, the master can achieve power greater than can be believed. Challenges to the master. Beware! Others who gain a Fez may try and assert themselves as masters. Heed my advice and keep a small group of acolytes in Fezes that one may expend when the challenge comes. The control of the damned. Left uncontrolled, the Fez will destroy the wearer. Once that happens, the thing that the Fez wearer becomes may be controlled by other, more powerful masters of the Fez. They will be mindless thralls bent only to the master's desires. Gate and the key. The blood-red Fez is the gate and the key. If the blood of a prince is present, the Fez may call forth that which from that which waits outside.
And as you continue to skim through after you've read those, you see that there are several more rituals, like the ritual that you already know to delay the effects of the Fez. There are several more rituals in there, all to do with the Fez, to do with affecting another person who wears a Fez, challenging for control of the Fez, controlling someone else who wears a Fez. It's all very harrowing stuff. Professor Worth, your Cthulhu Mythos score increases by 4. However, such knowledge comes at a price.
Oh, I did not mean to roll that. Yeah.
That's fine. Such knowledge comes at a price.
Uh-huh.
Could you please roll me a d10?
You want me to hit the button for you?
Yes, please.
Okay, you lose 10. You lose 10 points of sanity,
Lovely.
Sounds like a lot.
and and because you have now lost more than a fifth of your starting sanity. You started the day with 47 points of sanity.
Yeah.
You lost 6 last time. You lost 10 now.
Yeah.
You are now indefinitely insane. Something completely tears in your mind. So where we're going to do this is you suffer a bout of madness. Now, I'll give you a choice. You can either roll for it yourself, or you can let me choose it for you.
I'll let you choose it for me.
Very well. I need a... These? That's good enough. is you gain a new phobia.
Okay.
You read the book. It's the Fez. It's all to do with the Fez. The Fez is what is doing this. The Fez is evil. You are now afraid of Fezes.
Okay.
And for the
I'm
next,
sure that won't come up.
and for the
Never going to be
Yeah,
an
I'm
issue.
sure that will never be.
Never going to be a problem.
for the next few minutes, you are terrified. You see Fezes everywhere. Scott Myers is wearing one. You're in Amelia's cabin, which means there's probably a few of the other ones around. You are surrounded by Fezes, and you are absolutely scared out of your wits.
Can I do anything, or am I sort of so terrified I just stay still?
Honestly, how you express it is up to you.
In that case, I get out of the room. I try and move as far away from the Fezes that I can see.
Okay. Do you just retreat down the corridor, or you do retreat into another room?
Am I near our room? My room?
Yes, you're in the third sleeping cabin, and your cabin was the first one, I believe. So you are very close
Yeah.
to it.
I go back to my room.
I need to put down a new thing in your character sheet for that. Here. Fezes. So for George Banks, Barrington, and Dr. Cassim Polat, you have just seen Professor Worth read this book, and he's read out to you the extracts from the Fez, and then you see something. His eyes go pale, and he looks around, screams, and he runs out of the room.
If Barrington's done getting patched up, he'll kind of follow Worth out.
Okay, yep.
Go check up on him.
Yep. Yeah, Carla Menkaph is very efficient. He's patched you up. It's not elegant, but it does the job, and so you are no longer You're no longer bleeding. Your wounds are patched up for now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in the first cabin, I believe. So, and I'll put Barrington in the same cabin with you. Is that what we just said?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. So, Professor Worth, after a few minutes, you start to calm down. You start to regain control of yourself, but there's still something in the back of your mind that's not unhinged, but just like teetering on the edge. Like you was definitely saying. So, the way this plays out is the insanity will stay below the surface. You can, act normally. But any further loss of sanity at all will trigger another bout of madness. And even though you have this fear of Fezes, it doesn't manifest itself unless you're in a bout of madness. So for now, it's just like low. It's just like there, but it's like just beneath the surface. You can still function normally.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So there's a knock at your door, and it's Barrington outside with a concern in his face.
Yes, old boy.
You seem to take a bit of a turn for the worse there. I was just coming to check up on you.
Yeah, but I'm fine. These Fezes,
Yes, they seem troublesome.
they're everywhere. They're the cause of all of the problems.
Shall we go get you a drink? Might help relax you a little bit.
I would prefer to stay here.
Very well. I'll keep you company.
I appreciate that.
George Banks and Polat, you've just seen this in the cabin. You've just seen this episode take place in the cabin. What are you doing, or how do you react to this?
George just turns to the other and just raises an eyebrow.
And Dr. Polat?
Yeah, sorry. Sort of half forgot that I was him.
Yeah, yep.
Yep, well, I'll follow.
Okay, so an hour passes. Well, time passes, and Henry doesn't return. The train, about 10:20, the train comes to a stop. Rolls to a halt at Munich station. No one gets on or off. There's no one there to meet the train. Nobody gets off the train. You don't see Henry or anybody else getting off the train. 10 minutes later, the train carries on. Still no sign of Henry. And it's now, 11:15? And Henry has not returned. In the dining car, Amelia, the Russians are starting to get a bit boisterous. Count Razumovsky is demanding to be let back to his cabin, but the waiters are saying, please, monsieur, please, please. Monsieur Peters has requested that we all stay here. But even they are starting to look at each other saying, what's going on? Why is it taking so long? And in the end, one of them, Michelle, says, I will go find Mr. Peters and ask him what the situation is. And he leaves the cabin. And I'm going to say that everybody else is inside their cabins for now. Okay. It's now about 11 o'clock. Do any of you poke your head outside your cabin?
No. George does not. At least.
And is there anything that would sort of draw you to look outside the cabin?
Just the fact that it's been over an hour, and no sign of Henry. And he said he would come for you once the matter was settled, and he hasn't returned.
No, I suppose it'd be interesting to go and listen in, maybe. Walk towards wherever he was meant to be.
Okay. So, you open the cabin, you stick it outside your cabin, and sat at the end of the row in his normal chair is Henri Peters. And he looks up at you and goes, oh, Monsieur Polat, Henri is here. Is there anything I can do for you?
Yeah, you said that you were going to meet us.
I was going to meet you. Why was I going to meet you? No, I've been here all day performing my duties. And at this point, the waiter Michelle appears from the restaurant car through it and says, Monsieur Peters, is everything all right? You haven't returned. The passengers are getting anxious. And Henri goes, the passengers are still in the dining car. Get them out. Feed. We must prepare for lunch. Please, why are they still in the dining car? Please get them out. And Michelle says, but you said to keep them. No, get them out. They must be. I would say no such thing. I would say no such thing. They must leave the dining car. Dr. Polat, can you make me a psychology check, please? And you may push or use luck if required. Third column, I believe. Ooh.
And it fails.
Yeah, you can try and push it if you want to. Roll it again.
Yeah, I will do.
Okay.
Hey.
So with that, it seems as though Henri Peters has no memory of what's happened. No memory of post of dealing with Menkaph. No memory of coming to call you. It's as if the last hour or so, he doesn't know anything about it. He certainly doesn't act as though he's just, been dealing with a matter like this. He just seems to have no memory of what's going on.
How weird. Maybe.
Yep. Carry on. Yep. Sorry.
I don't know. I was going to say, well, maybe he's been possessed or has amnesia. Hit his head on the way.
In the dining car, Amelia, Michelle comes back looking very, very confused, but he stands up straight and says, Monsieur Peters says you may all return to your cabins now. And there's lots of cries of about time, and the company will hear about this as everybody files out of the dining car, returning to their cabins. Amelia, what do you do?
I'm going to speak to Michelle, was it? The waiter?
Yes.
And say,
Yes.
Where is Mr. Peters? I need to speak to him.
He is at his post in sleeping car 1. He is on his conductor's seat in sleeping car 1. However, he didn't seem to remember ordering us to stay here.
Okay, Michelle, after Monsieur Peters, who's next in charge?
I suppose that should be one of us, either myself or Pierre.
Right, it's you. Right. The gentleman who left with Monsieur Peters, Menkaph, is a dangerous criminal. He has kidnapped the American woman that I was with, and that's why he took him aside. So if you see Menkaph, it's very important that he's detained in some way.
Well, Monsieur, that is unlike Henri Peters, this Michel looks very inexperienced, and he's certainly never had to deal with anything like this before. But I will see what I can do, Monsieur. He looks like quite
Madame.
worried, Madame. This is how worried he is.
Yes, he's still worried. Yeah.
Yeah, Madame, I will see what I can do. Please return to your cabin for now.
It's also, Michel. This is the secondary matter, but would it be possible to arrange 11s?
It should surely be time for lunch, but I will see what I can do, Madame. It would surely be time for lunch, but we must make ready for lunch. We are already behind time.
Oh well, thank you. I'm going to head in the direction of where Henri would be.
Okay. The rest of you, are you still hiding Are you still in your cabins, or have you started to come out?
Well, I would be out.
You're outside
So-
anyway. Yep. The others?
George is out as well.
Okay.
Worth now lives in his room.
Okay,
At least for
and
the time being, anyway.
Barrington.
Barrington would probably poke his head out, kind of.
You can go. Oh boy, I will be okay.
Okay, as long as you're sure. I'll send someone to check on you in a bit.
I appreciate it.
Okay. So you all leave the cabin just in time to see Amelia return. Amelia, you're at the entrance of the car. What would you like to do? And you see Henri sitting there. It's like,
So, do I see any of the party who were, injured in the fight?
you see further up the cabin, further up the corridor, you see George, Dr. Polat, and Barrington coming out of their cabins as well. George and Barrington have been bandaged up.
My God, what happened to you?
We got into a little bit of a scuffle.
With Menkaph?
No. I don't even know how to begin to describe this. Do you, George?
Can't say I want. No.
Well, we'll put a pin in that.
I was going to say, just for my memory, a shadow kind of emerged from this Scott book, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I kind of tell Amelia that.
She looks skeptical, but also there's been some weird stuff going on, so she's not disbelieving it. She's just, that seems a lot to take in. And I'm going to say to Henri and sort of grab him by his lapels on his jacket. Henri, where's Menkaph?
Madame, there is no need for such an outburst. Monsieur Menkaph is in his cabin, where he has been all morning.
Yes, and have you arranged to have him arrested? We stopped at Munich, I believe.
Monsieur, why would I arrange to have a passenger arrested?
Can I slap him? As in, the thing of pull yourself together, remember, type thing.
You can
Don't know if
try.
it'll help.
What would this be? Yes, you can try and slap him. Just want to see if. Give me a brawl. Give me a brawl. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good at that as well.
Yeah, that.
Oh dear.
It just has you do slap him. It does connect, but it just seems to get to. Madame, please. I know you seem very uptight, but there is no need for violence, please.
Henri, a passenger of yours is in grave danger and ill health. and Menkaph is responsible.
That is a very serious accusation, madame. Unfortunately, I cannot act without any evidence. If you can produce evidence of this, I may be able to do something, but Monsieur Menkaph is a valued passenger. I cannot just simply arrest him just on your say-so.
And I'm going to head. Do I know where Menkaph's?
You saw the
compartment is?
map.
'Cause
You
I
saw
looked
the
at
map
the
last
list, didn't
time.
I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He is here in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to start heading towards there, and I might say to anyone else who wants to come with us, especially maybe like the good people at fighting.
Yeah, Barrington's going to kind of walk over there.
Okay, so you can move your characters over. And the door is closed.
Can I kick it open? It might even be I imagine it might be a sliding door. I don't know.
They're not sliding doors. They're not sliding doors. They do open outwards.
Can I open it in as aggressive a manner as would allow?
Well, looking at the map, they all open outwards.
So I will fling it open.
The door is locked.
Barrington, would you be so kind?
Barrington's going to try and just kick the door open.
Okay, make me a strength roll, please, Barrington. You kick the door, and it does fly open, and Menkaph is there on his bed, sitting cross-legged. He looks to be meditating. He opened his eyes at the intrusion.
Has he reacted to us kicking the door?
Well, it was quite a loud noise, and he opens his eyes and goes, I must protest, please. Please, sirs, madam, what is the meaning of this intrusion?
I'm going to draw my one of my revolvers, because I've got two. And I don't know. Let's say when we get to the next stop, I'm going to have you arrested. Until then, we will stay here quietly, where you can do no more harm to anyone.
Madame, how dare you? How dare you, madame? This is an outrage.
Just standing in posingly in the door.
Okay, do you want to move yourselves into the carriage then? And yep, Amelia, you can move yourself into the carriage as well. There we go. That's better. And Menkaph says, "I must protest. This is an outrage. I've never have I been treated in such a manner." Kapok, where is my servant, Kapok?
I don't know, but I am gonna cock the pistol so he knows I'm like serious.
And Barrington's not got his sword drawn, but he's got his hand on the hilt of it.
Hey, let's see. Amelia, Menkaph looks at you. He's obviously like, red in the face, furious. But he looks at you. Can you make me a power roll, please?
Ooh.
I'll be right back. I'm going to put the lights on. That's better. I can see my dice now. You got your regular success. Amelia.
Hmm?
Menkaph looks at you, looks into your eyes, and you feel that perhaps he's telling the truth. Perhaps he is innocent. You feel this command to leave him alone and to help him get to Constantinople. And he got a hard success, which beats your regular success, which means for the next minute you are compelled to obey him.
Oh, dreadful. Well, I'm gonna go. I'll sort of look at the gun in my hand and go, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. Just got a bit carried away, and I'll put the pistol away."
Of course.
Knowing Amelia Meadowcroft, would Barrington kind of
yeah, this is
out of character?
you would immediately see this is out of character for Amelia.
And Barrington's going to kind of curse at her and kind of say, "What you doing?" And pulls his hair out and kind of, I don't know, he goes over and kind of just gives her a sharp tap on the head.
Amelia, you feel this presence in your mind saying, Menkaph is innocent. You must help him.
I would advise you to step back. It's not how you treat a lady, or indeed me. I'm not quite call myself lady. Step back, or there will be trouble.
Amelia, my dear, we've known each other for how long?
How long? Sorry, Robin, you go.
Is a demon. He's made that young fellow in the other cabin ill of his fezzes. And now you expect to just walk away from him? Help him, even?
Demon seems a bit harsh. But he seems a decent enough fellow, and my son was he was providing some sort of medical attention to Mr. Myers. I'm assuming that would just continue be in this way of
Yeah.
And you'd probably be trying to leaving the cabin and trying to pull Barrington into the cabin at this.
I'll be trying to at first not in any force, but just trying to guide Barrington out.
Barrington's standing his ground.
What's everybody else doing at this time? You can kind of hear raised voices coming from the cabin down the hall. What's George Banks, Dr. Polat, and Professor Worth doing at this?
I don't know. Let me check George's inventory to see what prop I can have him doing some mundane thing with.
Professor Worth peers out of his door, but still does not feel that he can.
Okay. You can see from where you are. You see Barrington in the doorway to another cabin, and it seems like he's having words, being pushed out, having words with someone inside the cabin. George, you see the same thing. I'd say you're doing you're doing finger tricks with your knife. I think that'd be appropriate for you.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that he was actually using his knife to carve something on the ceiling,
Awesome.
On the Orient Express. I'm shocked. That's worse than all this other shenanigans that's going on with murder and whatnot.
Okay, I got one. Dorian Gray's a crap book.
Oh, love it. And Dr. Polat, are you peeking ahead, investigating the noise that's going on?
Yeah, I will follow. I will take off my top hat.
Okay,
see if
so
it helps me hear better.
Yeah, you also say you also see Barrington standing in the doorway to a cabin, and he's having loud words with somebody inside. So yeah, the conversation continues, and I'll say it's at this point that Eileen McGregor also comes past and says, "What's going on? Amelia, what's he doing with her? I thought that was the man you wanted to arrest." I'll put her in the thing. Amelia comes along. I thought that was the person you wanted to arrest. What are you doing?
He said it was a minute. How long has passed? Am I still under the?
I'd probably say you're starting to come out of it now, but you are further away from him. You're no longer pointing your gun at him, and you're further towards the door.
I want to say, oh, yes, I'm a bit confused. Would would Amelia, having seen what happened to Henri and know there's magic afoot, would she have any idea of what's happened to her? Like, this Menkaph guy did a spell for...
Amelia probably has no idea. All Amelia knows is that Henri seems to have lost his memory of what's happened and he's acting completely differently. Don't think you would probably recognise that Menkaph just tried something on you.
Yes. I just think I've been acting a bit odd. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yes, you were being horrible to the Myers family. I remember. And I'll turn back on Menkaph.
Oh my dear, do you really want to make a scene like this?
I've made a lot of scenes in my time.
If you like, you can call the conductor, Mr. Peters, across and have him remove you from my cabin.
Again, I've had many people try and move me from cabins and it's never worked very well. And I will get you on that pistol.
So you're still like drawing your pistol out at him again?
Yes.
Okay, make me another power roll.
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot someone on my party. I get this. Power at the top.
Okay. You just feel the distinct command in your mind this time. Get out. It's like no pressure, no feeling, just like direct command. You hear his voice in your mind. Leave now.
And does that
That's compulsion.
Yeah. So I will try and leave. Just try and walk past Barrington and out of the cabin.
Barrington.
Seeing this, Barrington's going to go over and punch Menkaph in the face.
Okay, so make me a brawl check, a fighting brawl check. That is gonna.
All of us?
No, just Barrington, because he's the one who's punching Menkaph in the face. He will try and dodge. What's your... You go to punch him, but he just manages to duck out of the way of it, and he says, I suggest you leave as well, otherwise you want me to tell Mr. Peters that you were trying to assault a passenger?
Barrington's literally going to kind of grab Menkaph by the scruff of his jacket and try and throw him against the wall.
Okay. So by this point, immediately the door is open, ready, waiting for you to leave.
Yeah, I'll be walking away.
Cool. And
I'm like not even talking to people. I'm just doing exactly what it said. Just get out. So I'm walking.
Yep, that's fine. Yep. Barrington, make me another fight and brawl check, because this is a maneuver now. You're trying to throw him against the wall. Okay. Do you want to you can spend luck on that if you have any luck to spend on that.
Yes, I think I will.
Oh, you can push it. Can you push it?
Technically, we're in combat now, but it's only because there's only between two of them. But you can't push a combat roll until your next turn, essentially.
How do I do this again?
Just reduce your luck by the amount you want to, then we'll say that's a pass.
Is the red one?
That's the one on the far left, yeah.
Yeah. So it's by 24, isn't it?
Yes. And Menkaph is going to try and fight back on that one, actually.
Look at that! Come on!
But he fails, and you grab him, you push him against the wall. Roll me your damage. It's 1d3 plus. I think you have a damage bonus. Do you have a damage bonus?
That's only on my saber, which I'm not using.
The damage, but you get the damage bonus anyway.
Oh, all right. Sorry, the damage bonus. Damage.
No,
is
sorry.
6.
It rolled it anyway. So damage bonus is 6, and he slams against the wall and gets winded from it. Oof. Oh, I promise you the company will hear of this.
And Barrington just kind of growls at him and basically says, "You will leave that family alone, and you are not to leave this cabin until we get to wherever the next station is, at which point you will be arrested."
Okay. By this point, Henri has probably wandered over, come over to see what the commotion is about, and he goes, "Monsieur, please do not assault the passengers, or else I'll have to have you locked in your cabin as well."
This man is not to leave his cabin. He's been assaulting other passengers. I can't remember the family name.
Myers.
The Myers. And you, of all people, should have memory of this. You were the one who helped us.
And as you speak to him, you see his eyes start to become unfocused for a bit, as if he's trying to remember. He probably doesn't fully remember, but he does say, "Very well, monsieur. I will see that Monsieur Menkaph is confined to his cabin."
And if you can, get a message to the police to come pick him up at the next station.
We have no telegraph facilities on board the train, I'm afraid, sir. We'll have to wait until the next station in order to send a message on, and then it'll be at Vienna when we can get, if there is any action to be taken, it will be at Vienna. The next stop is Salzburg at 1:45. But in the meantime, I must go and see to preparations for lunch. Please excuse me. And he will lock the door to Menkaph's cabin and take the key, and then scurry away down to the dining car to make lunch.
Yeah, Barrington's literally going to be standing guard on the door.
Okay. So we'll move time forward, unless there's anything anybody else wishes to do. We'll move time forward to lunchtime, where everybody is. Who's going for lunch in the dining car? Let's start there.
Maybe you will.
Okay.
Worth will reluctantly.
Okay. So,
George will as well.
So let me just arrange some people on the thing. Same seats as before, or do you want to mix it up? Do you want to mix yourselves around a bit?
I think we should stick together, like our party. But that's just my opinion on it.
I was going to say, before you go, Barrington's going to stay behind and keep guard on the door, but he's going to ask for someone to bring food back for him. Okay,
that makes perfect sense. So I'll put you all on the dining car map. Please arrange yourselves where you would like to be. And Eileen comes with you as well.
Yeah.
Cool. So lunch is a very quiet affair. The food, of course, is excellent. You've got lobster, you've got the finest of sauce, you've got mashed potatoes and little floury sort of swirls, fish turbot for those who want it. It's very delicate, it's very elegant, but it seems very subdued as well. You see Kapok sitting across the way from you, and he just glowers at you, but he doesn't take any action against you. He just glowers at you. The Russians are just busy carrying on, the Count is complaining, I will sue the company. I will make sure that they never run my family again. I'll make sure they regret this. At 1:45, the train rumbles into a halt at Salzburg. If any of you look out the window, you'll be able to see Henri depart from the train and head to the station master's office. 10 minutes later, the train carries on again. Do you carry on any sort of conversation during lunch, or is it just a very subdued, quiet affair?
Worth is sort of very fidgety and a bit anxious and on edge.
Oh, could I have asked one of the waiters to go check on the Myers and see if they want anything as well?
Yes. Pierre will take some food to the Myers.
And for the captain as well.
And for Barrington as well, yep. Barrington, one of the waiters. Barrington, which when you're standing guard, are you just standing in guard, or are you watching from any particular direction, or what are you doing?
I'm literally standing in front of the door, making sure Menkaph can't get out.
Okay, so your attention is focused on keeping that door closed.
Yeah.
Cool. Can you make me a spot hidden, please? Okay, thank you very much. You're just so focused on the door, just making sure that door doesn't close. And there is no real commotion coming from inside. It just seems very quiet in there. You can hear breathing. It seems like he's gone back to meditating again. After a few minutes, Pierre comes to you with a tray of plates of turbot and lemon sauce for you, and he carries on down to the cabin.
I was going to say, I asked, could I have it in a sandwich?
He looks slightly offended at that, but you are the passenger.
Easier to eat.
Yeah, you are.
Stand it up. What do you want to do? Have a knife and fork on a plate? He needs it.
He does look at you a bit offended, but he takes the plate back and he moves back to the dining room to get a sandwich, put it in between two pieces of bread. But again, it's very, very. The bread is very elegant. Again, very 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 high class, but it's completely unsuited for it to be a sandwich. It's like a crusty roll with this big wad of fish stuck between it. He still gives it to you on a plate though. And he then carries on down the corridor to the Myers. He knocks on the door, and he goes in, and he gives them their food. Ellie is still in there as well. She would still be in there as well. And lunch passes, and Michelle, who is still in the carriage, ushers you all out to return to your cabins while they clean up for the next meal.
Where will Kapok go?
Kapok will return. He has a compartment with Egoroth, which is a couple of doors down from Menkaph. He goes past. He doesn't seem to knock on Menkaph's door, but he just carries on to his own cabin and he just shuts himself in there. Who has the book? Out of interest, who in whose cabin is the book?
Worth will have dropped it in the cabin. So with the Myers when he ran out because of all the fezzes everywhere.
Yeah. So that's Amelia's cabin, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. When you return to your cabin, in fact, when you all return to the cabins, Amelia, you open the door. Your cabin has been ransacked. You see Ellie on the floor with a nasty bruise on her head, semi-conscious, and the room has just been completely ransacked. Scott Myers has just been tossed aside. He's still on the bed, but he's been tossed aside as if someone was searching the bed. Can you make me a luck roll, please?
Ooh.
The book is gone.
God damn it. I mean, I don't think I even knew about the book though, unless people have filled us in.
No, because you would. I know. The same. I'll still accept it. The book has disappeared. Professor Worth, you enter the cabin as well, and you see where you dropped the book. The book is no longer there, and you search around, and you do not see the book anywhere. The Whispering Fez has gone.
I will check on Ellie as well to see, after what happened.
She's semi-conscious, not too badly wounded, but she's just had a nasty knock, very nasty knock. Pardon me, gosh.
I'll ask her. Does she know who did this?
I didn't see. It was two men. They seem to be wearing those fezzes. They just came in and started tearing up the room. I tried to ask them what they were doing, and one of them just knocked me on the head. Must have passed out.
Right. I shall shout for Henri. I'm assuming he'll come,
Yep, he will come.
or maybe he's dead or turned into a
No,
monster.
he's still about.
And quickly explain what has happened and ask him to sit with Amelia while I am going to head to
Sit with Ellie.
Sorry? Yeah,
Sit with
stay with
Ellie.
Ellie. Yeah, and keep him out of the way because he's you know.
Yep.
And my plan is to go and confront those two servants of Menkaph. Again, I will try and rally our disparate party to get some backup for this.
Okay, so where should you go? Say that again. Where are you going to go?
The cabin for the servants of Menkaph, the Kapok and
Just to clarify, Kapok is Menkaph's servant. Egorov is the Count's servant, and Kapok was in the dining room the whole time.
Oh, right. Oh,
And and Barrington, the door behind you never opened. Menkaph was in there the whole time.
I tell Amelia this.
Oh, and I'm gonna go see that Kapok anyway. He seems to be the the guy to go to.
Barrington's still going to just remain guard.
Yes, I think that's the what the wise thing to do. George, you're a handy fellow, aren't you? In a scrap.
That's how I am, Governor.
And indeed, anyone else going to try and go and confront this Kapok fellow?
Here, in this cabin. That's the cabin you saw him enter into.
Which one, sorry?
I just listed him up on the screen, so he's in this cabin. You saw him go in and shut the door.
Oh, okay. I'm going to head there, and again open the door in as violent a manner as is possible.
Okay. And he's just like sitting on the bed, like not meditating. He's just like sitting on the bed, and he looks up as you enter, and he just looks at you, and he just like narrows his eyes at you, and he's just like, no, his face just says like, "What are you doing here?" He doesn't speak. He just like looks at you.
I'm just going to very bluntly say, did you assault the Myers family and ransack their cabin?
I did not. I was in the dining room the whole time. You saw me.
Do you know who did?
Just keeps his mouth closed.
Part of me really wants to escalate this. We need that book. Anyone else got any ideas? Because aside from shooting him, which I'm happy to do, I'm at a loss.
Just like, I don't think I've explained the train to you properly. So you've got the engine at the front. You've got a baggage car. There are two sleeping cars. You're in sleeping car 1. There is another sleeping car. You haven't seen any of the passengers from the other sleeping car yet, so you know all the passengers in sleeping car 1. You don't know who's in sleeping car 2.
I mean, it is a train, so there's limited options of where people can be, isn't there? Really, like, yeah. Should we go and ransack ourselves? Should we go investigating?
Yes, sir.
Madame.
Yep, I think it'd be a good idea.
So you go into the second sleeping car.
Is anyone good at pretending they're a person in authority? I'm a woman, and that doesn't get very far.
I mean, I have a large moustache and a hat.
That's a good start. I think that went for a
Yeah.
lot in 1893.
Yeah, that works a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you
Well,
only
that
have
guy's
a
got a
moustache.
hat, so he's obviously in charge. I'm
Okay.
just going to start knocking on doors, I suppose.
And Professor Worth, what are you doing?
I've got. I follow reluctantly behind, but I'm not going into any rooms or anything like that.
Okay, so let me just get all these on the map and move us all to sleeping car number 2. So you just like start knocking on doors?
Yeah.
Um,
Policeman's knock as well. Very like bang, bang, bang.
First note: this
Okay.
car doesn't. This car doesn't seem to have its own conductor. It seems that Henri is doing this car as well because there doesn't seem to be many passengers on this one. And the first door you open is open and it's like empty. Second one is empty. Third one is empty. You're beginning to despair of finding anything. But when you come to this car, this cabin down here, this door is locked.
So I'll knock loudly.
I'll just move it all to that. I'll move it all to that one. No answer from inside.
George, you might be the man for this. Could you get the door open?
Right, Joe.
That'd be a locksmith roll, George.
Okay.
Unless you want to bust it down, or you're trying to. It sounds like you're trying to be stealthy.
Let's try the locksmith first.
Okay. Wow. Door opens. Inside is a very neat double cabin. Beds don't really look like they've been slept in. There's probably just like a couple of small cases around. What you gonna do?
And there's some more cabins in this carriage.
They are, yes, but their doors are shut. You won't know if they're open or anything until you try them.
Right. Do you think we should try the other ones first before we start ransacking this? Some poor, Salzburg tourists who've just gotten on board and haven't had a chance to unpack.
Anybody want to try the other doors?
Yeah. Where are
Okay.
we abouts on the door checking?
Where you are, that's how far down the carriage you've come. So there's still like 1, 2, 3 doors. Go.
Are we moving left or right down there?
Yes, you're moving from the left to the right. Yes.
Left to the right. Okay.
The next door is unlocked and empty. Door after that is unlocked and empty. That microphone falling over, so that's not a good start. And this door here is also locked.
I was going to say the one on the corner.
George, this might again be, the wonderful success on the last door.
Yep, again,
I mean,
no
is
problem.
it next to the lavatory?
Yes.
We could always see if we could listen through the wall.
Yep. Again, this door opens quite easily. So you've got 2 open doors, and again, this one looks a bit more lived in. There's like there's a coat in there hung up. There's suitcase and overnight bag in there. No sign of the occupants really. What would you like to do?
Well, I was going to stay next to the door that we originally checked, the first one we opened.
Okay.
Just, I know it seems empty, no one's going to come out or whatever, but you know, shadow monsters and whatnot. So
And what is anybody else doing?
Take a look around.
In one of the cabins, which one? The one here or the one at the end?
well, I could start checking the one that Amelia's at if you want to do the one at the end.
Sure.
Okay. You can move your character down there. Yep, that's the one. Yep. And Professor Worth and Dr. Polat, what are you doing? You want to assist in the search?
I will check the one down the end as well on the corner.
Okay, move yourself down there.
Yes.
Move yourself down to the end.
Yep.
Yep, that's it. And Professor
Although,
Worth, are
is
you?
there one room that's not being checked?
No, these two rooms. These two rooms here were empty. Door unlocked and empty. Yeah. And Professor Worth is helping Amelia search that cabin.
Yes, but very, very carefully.
Well, Professor Worth, when you walk through the door, you don't see any fezzes, so you kind of like breathe a bit easier. What we'll do is, we'll start with Amelia and Professor Worth. You can either make individual spot hidden rolls, or one of you can make a spot hidden roll with a bonus dice because the other will be helping them.
It's okay. What's your spot hidden?
I'm just having a look. Mine's 65. What's yours?
30.
Well, spot hidden with a bonus dice.
Okay, so roll the spot hidden and then press the bonus penalty button at the bottom. Roll your bonus dice. Look at that. Just like press the bonus button and that card. So that's a 56, which is a success.
Yeah.
You can, if you wish to, spend luck to increase it to a hard, which would be about. That would cost you 23 luck points. Want to increase it to a hard?
You know what? He's just very, very reluctant. He's still looking things, so he's not looking particularly hard. This.
Okay. Come back to you in a moment. George Banks and Dr. Polat, same deal. You can either make individual spot hiddens, or one of you can make the spot hidden with a bonus dice.
Let's see what my spot hidden is.
Can I try without the bonus dice first?
You roll it anyway. And if you roll it anyway, then you roll the bonus dice. Yep. And roll your bonus. Do you want to take the bonus dice, or do you want Dr. Polat to make their own roll?
Where is it on the sheet?
I think I've Dr. Polat try before we do any.
Dr. Polat, it's on the right hand column, the third column.
Okay, I've got 55, so I was midway.
Okay, never mind. So, after some searching, Amelia and Professor Worth, you don't really find very much in your cabin. It just looks like whoever was here, they're not traveling very light. They just like seem to be got on the train, possibly got on at Salzburg, probably get off at the next stop, not traveling very far. George and Dr. Polat, you search through, and after some time, you find. Can you move into your cabins? Actually, that'd be better if you move into the cabins that you're searching. Actually, physically move into them. That's it. And Dr. Polat, move into the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Just move your character into the cabin.
Yeah, hang on, I'm trying to get...
Yep.
Sheets don't like me very much. Hang
on. As you're searching, Dr. Polat, you do find a very familiar, hard, rectangular object.
Mm-hmm.
and it is the book, The Whispering Fez. Now, I need a group luck roll, so whoever has the lowest luck, please make me a roll. When you make a group roll, it's the lowest one. So can you make me a group luck roll? The person with the lowest luck, make me a roll.
Is that out the two separate groups or the whole group?
Out of everybody. Just whoever has the lowest luck, roll for it.
I've got 42 for my luck score.
Okay.
I've got 40.
45.
So it's Professor Worth. Make me the roll, please. Okay, Professor Worth, you hear coming down the corridor 2 sets of footsteps coming down the corridor.
I tell Amelia.
I will put one hand on my revolver. I'm not exactly sure where Amelia keeps her revolvers, but I'm assuming it must be in some manner not visible to most. I'll put one hand on a revolver and I'm just going to step out, and I might just be sort of saying to the press assistant, "Oh, I think we went into the wrong room. How silly! I think we were in the other carriage."
Oh, yes, they look so similar.
Yes, and you're clearly drunk and unable to. That helps.
Too much at lunch.
Yes.
Okay,
and
so
I will see who. I'll try and get a peek at who's coming down.
all right. Get these two. Coming down the corridor, you see 2 Turkish. Well, they're Turkish from their looks, but you see one of them is wearing a fez, and his eyes seem to be blank. But they are walking down the corridor towards you.
So I think these are the very chaps in question. Could you go and fetch George, and I'll try and delay them here.
Yeah, so Worth leaves the carriage, sees the Fezes, and says absolutely nothing, like it would be quite rude, and just starts walking down to George.
As quickly as possible.
Hurriedly, sort of. Yeah, there's no manners. He looks suspicious.
Okay.
You
So
can
you're
tell
there.
he's struggling with something.
You're coming down the corridor. Okay. I'll move you down to George. George and Dr. Polat, you see Professor Worth arrive outside the cabin you're searching in a state of some agitation.
Bloody hell, mate. What you see?
Fez. They're there with Fez, with Amelia. Go, quick, George. Quick, Banks. Quick, man.
Right. While you're on your way, Amelia, what are you doing? These 2 people coming. What are you doing?
I'm going to introduce myself to the first one in a very polite manner, and also try and not put my arms out to stop them, but just try and get in the way so they would have to really push past me to get past.
Okay. The first one just looks at his companion and steps aside. The second one comes forward, and I need you to make me a or I'll give you a choice. You can either brawl or dodge.
Oh, well, let's see what they are first. Well, you know what? Dodge is better, but I think I want to go for brawl. So we'll go for brawl.
Okay.
Because you seem. Oh dear me. Could I push? No, I was going to say can I push up, but it's combat.
You can't push because it's combat. You can't push it. You want to try and spend luck?
I think that would be. You know what? I don't have enough luck. I've got 42.
Good. The one wearing the fez grabs hold of you, pins your arms behind your back, and he seems unnaturally strong. And George, at this point, this is when you arrive. You see Amelia being grappled, being pinned by this thug with a fez, and the other thug looks at you. Who's holding the book, by the way? Polat found the book. So is Polat holding the book?
Yes, yep.
Is
I will
Polat
hold it.
still in the cabin, or have you come outside?
Do we hear anything that's happening further down the hallway?
Probably hear Amelia
Yeah.
shouting out. Is Amelia shouting for help?
Yep. So we'll come out. Can I put the book in like the back of my trousers, like?
It's a bit, well, it's a bit difficult because you're wearing your suit. It's probably a bit too big to stick down the back of your trousers, I'm afraid.
I mean, like literally in the waistband to keep it hidden, not like in a back pocket.
I'll say like you managed to like hide it under your jacket. We'll go with that. You hide it under your jacket, and you all see the one with the fez grappling hold of Amelia, holding it in a very tight grip, and the one without the fez says, "Return the book, or she dies."
Well, the hell, mate, I got an idea. How about I kill the both of you and we keep the book?
One of you against both of us? I don't think you quite know what you're dealing with.
Had worse odds.
Could I try and headbutt the one who's holding me?
We're actually let's go to a turn order, actually. So, as before, please tell me your dexterities.
Dexterity.
60.
See.
60 for
50.
Birth. 50 for Polat.
Where is my dexterity?
It's one's at the top. Like your big ones at the top.
Oh, 75.
70 for Amelia.
70. First goal is on Guy. Cool. So let's order this. Nobody has guns out ready, so nobody gets the bonus there. George, you're up first.
Okay, let's see. Go. Okay, need combat drawn up, so think I'll first attack the one nearest to me.
Okay, that's the normal guy without the fez. Yep.
Yeah, with my knife.
You can use luck on that if you wish. 5 points of luck to turn that into a success.
Okay, 5 points of luck.
That's fine, and the thug failed his fight back, so you managed to stab him for 3 points of damage.
Is he dead?
No, he's not dead. You do catch him a gash across the arm and he starts bleeding, though. Amelia, your turn.
So you said my arms were being pinned. Was
Your
that correct?
arms are being pinned behind your back quite painfully, yeah.
Right. And am I facing this person?
No, you're facing. He's holding you in front of him, facing outwards.
Right. Okay. I'm just can I try and break free in some manner, like wriggle free, or I can't imagine I'm going to beat him in his strength, so I suppose try and like slip out of the hole.
Yeah, make me a let's see, make me a dexterity roll for that. Not bad. you manage to like wriggle around, and you feel like his grip like slipping, like his like sweaty hands, and you do manage to get. I say you get one arm free for that.
Is that my whole goal?
That is your whole go. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's also his turn as well. So he's just like let go. So he like he's going to try and grab your arm again. So he's going to make a brawl roll for you, but you can make either try and dodge or fight back.
Well, I will learn my lesson, my hubris, and I will go for my better one, which is dodge.
Okay. Yep, he just like tries to grab for you, but your arm just like you manage to like nimbly. He's still got your other arm. In fact, for that dodge, I'm just going to say you managed to wrench your other arm out of his grip as well, so you're now completely free from him.
Yep.
Because he failed his roll and you got an extreme success, so you managed to completely escape his grasp.
Yeah, he's an expert boxer. That's what she does in her spare time. She boxes.
George, the thug you stabbed, is going to draw. It looks like a sword, but it's a curved sword, and he's going to try and lunge at you for it. You have the choice of either dodging or fighting back.
Let's try the dodging first.
Okay. Well, it's not first. It's either one or the other.
Let's try the dodge.
Okay.
Damn it!
You have enough luck points to change that into success. Actually, he got a hard success, so you need to spend 50 luck points in order to change it.
Well, that's pretty much all I've got. So I think either that or George dies.
He doesn't die just yet.
Okay.
You take 4 points of damage as he gets slashed across the chest. So you're not dead yet.
When the guy drew his saber, did he say something along the lines of, "That's not a knife. This is a knife"? in Turkish.
Yes, that well-known Turkish battle cry.
Yeah. It's like goes back hundreds of years, an old saying.
Awesome. Next is Professor Worth.
Come on, Professor. We're counting on you.
You might be counting on me, but
Read a book at them or something. Play to your strengths.
his strengths are not in fighting at all, and Professor Worth is not happy about the presence of this Fez. So Professor Worth's going to go and hide in the toilet.
Okay.
And if he can, he'll lock the door.
In which case, Dr. Polat.
Yes, so it's my go now.
It's your turn, yes.
Yep. Okay. I'm not very sort of proficient in anything much, it doesn't seem.
Sometimes it is better to run away rather than to directly confront.
I suppose that might be quite helpful if I've got the book in some ways.
That seems a very convenient justification.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, because then maybe they might follow me and leave you alone. Because they're not going to drag somebody with them. If they want the book that much.
Okay, so
Just
you're
run
going
away.
that way. Yep. George. So you have a choice of things. You can either try and attack again, or you can try and escape, or try and grab Amelia and escape. So, it's saying combat in Cthulhu is sometimes the best course is not to try and win, but just to like escape if you can.
Go in another room and escape, you said?
Well, you can try and escape if you want to, like run down the corridor where the others have gone.
Sure. And George says, hold his knife ready.
Okay. Amelia, let's say you are free from them, but yeah, everybody else is scarpered.
Would be to draw my guns? Would that be an action in of itself, or?
No. Drawing your guns is not an action.
Right. God. Right. I'm gonna draw both my guns, and I'm still gonna point them at one each. But I'm gonna try and shoot the guy with the sword because he's taken damage already, hasn't he?
He has, yes.
Yes, and I'm gonna try and shoot him.
Okay, so you can either
Mm-hmm.
shoot him with your gun. You can either shoot once at full, or you'll be a bonus because you're right in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Once at bonus, or up to 3 times at normal. Or if you want to shoot one of him and one of the other, you shoot both at normal. So it's either once at bonus, up to 3 times at normal at one guy, or shoot at both of them, one shot each at normal.
Yeah, I think the guy with the sword, he seems to be the brains of the operation.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm gonna go 3 normal at him.
Yep. It would normally be a
I'm
penalty.
assuming I have to make this decision now. I can't shoot once.
You have to make the decision now. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would normally be a penalty because you're shooting multiple shots, but because he's right in your face, you get a bonus dice, so that would cancel the 2 out. So 3 shots at normal.
Yeah, right. Should I do 3 straight in a row, or should I do 1?
Just do 3. Just do 3 straight in a row.
Because I know it's going to happen regardless, even if he dies the first time or something.
Yeah.
So, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so in your combat tab,
Mm-hmm.
because you just did that from your main tab, didn't you?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I did.
We'll still take that. We'll still take that as you can. We'll still take that. So just like roll twice the combat for the damage because you hit them both times. Sorry, carry on.
I was going to say I'm happy if you want me to roll them again in the combat.
We'll roll again in the roll again in the combat, and we'll see what comes out of that. Bending slightly, but I'll let you have it.
So just to check, where's the combat one?
It's the combat is the second tab in your character sheet. So you got skills and you got combat.
Oh yes, of course. Sorry, Right. So.
We'll take the first ones. And that'd be 10 damage, and you just like shoot him 3 times in the chest, and he falls over dead, bleeding on the floor. The other one, it is his turn now. He just like stands still for a moment, like he was obviously under the orders of this guy, but now this guy is dead. He's like got no orders, so he just like stands still for a moment. I'm not sure what to do.
I thought he might do that. Well, I didn't think. I was really hoping.
Professor Worth, are you still locked in the toilet?
Yeah, I'm staying in the toilet.
Okay. Dr. Polar?
I'm still trying to run somewhere.
Okay, you're at the end of the thing now. The next car along will be one of the baggage cars. George, you hear the gunshots. You hear something thudding to the ground.
George just pops his head out.
You see one of the thug with the sword dead on the ground, and you see the other thug with the fez still near Amelia, but he's standing still for a moment.
Do I have to often do something humorous? Darkly humorous.
Okay.
George just creeps out to the dead thug with the sword and just stabs him a few times.
Okay. Yep. Emilia, it is your turn again.
Me and George, have we become Gimli and Legolas and trying to claim each other's kill?
It seems so. Yeah.
I'm happy to start that contest. So does this guy seem like quite inert?
For the moment, but it looks like he might start to move again on his turn.
Can I do the same thing I did last time? Just 3 shots.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll make sure I'm in combat. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You just blow his face off.
Yeah.
Look at that extreme. Look at that for extreme damage. Come on.
Yep. Can I shoot him twice, right? And like he's on the ground. And the third time I'm gonna say, did I fire 5 shots or 6 shots? And I'm not quite sure myself. But then when you feel looking at, I'm just gonna shoot him the third time and like blow his face off.
Oh wow. Yep. On your second shot, you rolled a full 10 points of damage. Wow. So when you get an extreme success with a handgun, because it impales, you get the full damage and another damage roll on top of it. And your second shot, you roll full damage again. So you literally just caused max damage to him.
Just like where you'd have to be identified by like his wallet or something rather than any identifying features which are all gone.
And with that, we are out of turn order. As Professor Worth, Dr. Polat, you hear the gunshots and then everything goes quiet, and you peek around the door and you see Amelia standing atop these 2 smoking corpses. What would you like to do?
We'll reload one of the guns because I'm presuming I've emptied one.
Yeah, I'd say you've you probably have emptied one, so you'd have to reload. Yep. So what would you like to do?
And I'm also going to say to the doctor and the professor, thanks for your help there, gentlemen.
Fez!
The Fez is still on his head. In fact, the Fez has dropped off his head and rolled on the floor.
Oh no! Then Worth has come out of the toilet, but is staying well back from that Fez.
It's not affecting you as it's not affecting you as much, but it is still there. So yeah, that's absolutely fair. Yep.
Did the guy who had the Fez on? Well, I suppose I've really blown him to bits, haven't I?
Yes, you've blown him to bits, but the Fez is still intact.
Yeah. So I was going to say, is his head weird? But it's definitely weird now because it's not there anymore.
Yeah. He's not going to come back like the other guy did.
Yeah, I think I was more checking to see, had a weird, the damage the Fez does to people, like when they have.
Oh, you mean like the ring around the forehead?
Yeah.
He definitely had that. Yeah.
Ah, okay, right.
What's left of that you see?
Yeah. Should we search the bodies?
Sure.
You do the sword fella. I'll do the guy with no head.
All right.
Okay, make me spot hiddens, both of you.
I'm very pleased with how that combat went.
And media. Don't really find anything on the bodies. No identification papers, no wallets, nothing.
But it wouldn't be worth using a bit of luck for me because I'm only 8 off.
You don't really confirm what you just said. There's there's not really nothing to find on there.
Yeah. Oh, did I have any weird tattoos or weird symbols carved into the flesh or something like that?
Not that you can see.
Yeah. Would this be a more involved process than I think the important thing now is we get our story straight. They attacked us. And we killed them. And one of them said he was an evil terrorist who hates Belgium and France. Yes.
Okay.
Agreed?
Yes. He looks the sort.
And they confess to working for Menkaph and being really bad people. And they confirmed everything that we already said in elaborate monologuing.
Okay, so you got these 2 bodies on the floor. What are you going to do with them?
I mean, hiding them would seem to have limited. That perhaps seems more suspicious.
I should make an idea off of this, but I'm not going to make you roll an idea roll for this. There are windows that open. Just saying.
I mean, there must be a lot of blood as well, surely.
Will other people not have heard the bangs?
This car was empty, and you're still quite away from the other. Make me a luck roll.
I mean, how noisy is a moving train, especially in
Away from everyone else, yeah, fair.
Yep. Okay, so you dispose of the bodies?
I mean, is there much blood?
The guy who's had his face completely blown to pieces, yes.
Yeah, we'll worry about that. No, it's we get rid of the bodies. Yeah, that seems we'll chuck them out the windows.
And what about the Fez?
Oh, so is this a magic Fez?
It is.
Shoot that as well. Earn it. Sacrifice it.
I agree. So should we? Is there a case or a bag in their room that we could?
You do find a case. You do find a small case in there. It's got like some stuff in it, like underwear and stuff. But you could just put that on the bed and take the Fez.
I just want to use like the sword thing to poke it into the case and then shut the case. There, the professor, the nasty Fez is gone now.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So, what would you like to do now?
I feel you're mocking me, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, I was going to go, ooh, Fez, and move it towards you, but
So, what would you like to do now?
How do we look?
Not too bad, actually. Actually, no, I tell a lie. George is looking pretty slashed up again. You don't look. Amelia doesn't look too bad. The other two are obviously fine. George is looking very slashed up again.
No. If we look not as innocuous as possible, heading back in after two brutal murders. So, is there anything we can do to help George?
It's not life-threatening at the moment. It's just very, very painful. If any of you have first aid, you could try making a first aid roll.
I have some first aid skills. Somewhere.
Okay, yep.
I'll go with that.
Make a first aid roll. Yep, you managed to tear some strips off some bedding on one of the unoccupied beds and managed to bandage George up. George, you can take another hit point back.
Okay.
Oh, you've been in the wars, haven't you, George? Because you got hurt in the last one as well.
Yeah. So, what would you like to do? Are you returning to sleeping car 1, the other car?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very well.
Oh, if it comes up with anyone outside of our group, I don't know why it would. We don't have the book. We don't know where it is. So if the Mayas ask or Henri or Menkaph mention it, we don't know where it is.
Okay. Turn to sleeping car 1, and Barrington is still outside Menkaph's cabin, still standing guard. He sees your return, and he obviously sees George looking a bit bandaged. What do you? Yeah. So, what would you like to say?
What happened? Banks, you're looking a bit slashed up again.
Had a little bit of a brawl with some people from the Deams.
Yes, we just and I'm going to say this quietly. We just we killed two of Menkaph's henchmen. I think one of them had a fez on and seemed a bit mindless, out of it.
Just to say, Henri and Eileen are not here.
Okay.
I was going to say, has anything been happening while all that's been going on my end?
Not really. You don't really hear anything from inside Menkaph's cabin. Kapok is still inside his cabin.
Okay.
What would you like to do now?
I just kind of report that it's been all quiet here.
What would you like to do now? You're still time is still like say 3:30. So still like mid-afternoon.
So do I know where Henri and the other person went?
Eileen went to the salon car. Henri was doing his his conductor duties, so Eileen would have gone to the salon car.
Okay.
Eileen in there. Menkaph is still locked in his cabin.
As far as we know.
As far as you know.
How long before we reach Vienna? Because that was the next stop where it was like
2 hours before you reach Vienna, or 2.5 hours before you reach Vienna.
Yeah. We're tempted, we've killed 2 people, we've broken the seal on murder. Might as well, but maybe not. I think Amelia might say
murder if it's self-defense.
I'm not a lawyer, but I'm sure we'll be all right. Some of us are British. That helps. That goes a long way. And they were Turkish. That that'll stand against them. We'll probably be all right in regards to that.
Can I ask a question? What are you doing with the book and the fez? Are you keeping them with you, or are you putting them in your cabin? What are you doing?
Well, the last time we put something in a cabin, it got nicked.
Yep.
Does the book? And I suppose it's probably a question for the doctor. Does the book have like an effect on people, like as in like a weird magical effect by it being in their proximity?
How's that question, Professor Worth? You didn't feel any effects on the book. The madness came from the knowledge within the book, rather than the book itself is not magical. What you experienced was the knowledge that was within the book.
I think we should keep it with us.
Okay. So, what is the plan?
I think Amelia's gonna go and have a few drinks, just to nearly got attacked by some monsters. Have a few drinks. That seems to make sense to me.
Okay. So you're going to the salon car.
Mm-hmm.
Who has?
I know it's not very professional, but
yeah. What is everybody else doing?
I'll go back to my room.
Professor Woods is going back to the room. Dr. Polat and George Banks.
George is just resting and again, let us know. But this time he's carving something, but it's saying basically saying to eat at a specific fish and chips place that he likes, and to avoid another.
And we can say that Carl and Menkaph will come over to patch you up again if you want.
Yeah, that's good.
And Dr. Polat, where are you going?
I was just wondering whether it might be a best bet to have some rest before
Okay.
getting off the train due to everything that's happened.
I'll put you there. And Barrington, are you still standing guard outside?
Yeah,
You've been
he's
there the
going
whole
to keep
time.
up his vigil.
Okay. Okay, so George, you can retain another point of health back.
Okay.
And Amelia, you enter the salon car. You see it's empty. The only person there is Eileen, and she looks up at you, waves you over.
Yes,
and she looks at your disheveled state and says, "Well, you look like something the cat dragged in. To you."
A minor scrape. As discussed, I promise to give you a full exclusive of the whole thing in the future, but I don't want to make you an accessory after the fact.
Oh, that sounds very promising. You want a scotch? I've got some scotch here, and she produces a bottle of scotch.
Yes. Now, I'm probably going to have this whole bottle. So you might want to find something else as well.
She just reaches down and produces another full bottle.
Yeah, I'm a bit shaken.
Time passes. You're resting up. At 10 to 6, the train arrives at Vienna West Bahnhof. Comes to a stop. This is where you're intending to meet your ally, Baron von Hoffler. However, nobody's on the platform and nobody gets on the train.
Oh,
This was where we were planning to get Menkaph arrested as well, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was my understanding. Yes.
Nobody on the platform.
Can we find Henri? Because doesn't he normally go onto the platform?
Yep, Henri is at the door to the train, and he looks around and goes, "I don't understand it, monsieur. I sent a wire to here. There are supposed to be police meeting us. I do not understand what has happened."
Could we delay the train and try and contact the local police?
Monsieur, we cannot delay the train. The train must leave at the appropriate time. I'm sorry, that is what must happen.
But the people very badly hurt and violence is taken. Is it not more important to resolve this?
Monsieur, but the sooner we reach our destination, the sooner we will have the better facilities to treat these people. We cannot delay the train, I'm afraid.
This is to the keeper. Is our final destination Constantinople?
Yes.
Right, because I wanted this to get sorted out there.
We can keep these people. We can keep Monsieur Menkaph on board during that time. It is another day. Miss Menkaph seems fully capable of looking after Mr. Myers. Once we get to Constantinople, we'll be in a better position to reassess. And to be honest, the fewer police we have on the train, the better. They are not like the police from your country or mine. They will incarcerate. They will ask questions. They will take people, even if they are innocent. And it's not something that we like to deal with. We'd be best off waiting until we get to Constantinople, trying to keep everybody in check until then.
And it's a day to Constantinople.
It'll be it's day 2. It will arrive at 10:43 2 days from now.
I don't like this.
But we are capable of controlling things until then. As I say, this is not my first time in this sort of situation. Well, not exactly this sort of situation, but with passengers with medical emergencies.
You forgot entirely what happened earlier. I'm going to write to my MP about this. I might even go to Prime Minister Gladstone himself, who's a personal friend. He isn't, but I'm going to say he is. I don't suppose it's short from pulling the gun on him, which is, just enough of that for one day.
That's not going to help. Yeah.
Can I ask about if he knows about the guy who's going to meet us here? If he has any knowledge of him, having a ticket or having a reservation?
I'm sorry, monsieur. I don't. He looks down at his. I see there were supposed to be some people meeting us here for the second sleeping car, but I do not know what has happened to them. Excuse me, monsieur. The train must depart now. He signals a train to depart.
Not happy about it, but I know that's a limited option.
Barrington. Mm-hmm. There is a knock from inside the cabin.
What do you want, Menkaph?
If you'd be so kind, I am feeling a bit weak. Would it be possible to get some food or water, please?
I kind of signal to some of the serving staff. and kind of say, get him some bread, get him some water.
Mm-hmm. The waiter comes.
George.
Yep. George, there's a knock at the cabin, and it's one of the waiters. It's Michelle. He says, Monsieur Banks, Monsieur Barrington wishes to speak to you. Monsieur Banks, Monsieur Barrington wishes to speak to you outside the cabin.
Righto.
And Michelle comes back with some food and opens the door.
I was going to say, before they open the door, I kind of say, no, we'll open the door. You stand back.
Okay.
And I kind of indicate to George, get ready. And then...
Sorry, just deciding something. Barrington, odds or evens?
Odds.
Make me a power roll as you open the door and Menkaph looks at you.
Power, where's that?
You got a regular success, he got an extreme success. You feel this command in your mind, let me go.
I stand aside.
George, Barrington opens the door and stands aside as Menkaph comes out of the cabin. What do you do? Menkaph is stepping outside the cabin. What would you like to do?
Can I stab him in the back?
You can certainly try.
I like I specified the back. Like, I'll wait till he's looking away and then I'll stab him.
Make me a stealth roll first. It's because you're trying to do this without him noticing, so make me a stealth roll. That's really good, actually. Can he beat that? Can he beat that? He's only got a low spot hidden. He might not be able to beat that. He did not beat that. You can make your stab, and he can't dodge or fight back. Take a bonus dice as well because it is a sneak attack.
Okay.
Best of bonus dice. They're exactly the same. You know what? I'll say you do it. You stab him in the back, and he just like turns around, and then he just like collapses on the floor, unconscious, bleeding out. Are you going to do what you did before and just like keep on stabbing him, or is that you done?
I think that's it.
Menkaph is on the floor, your knife in his back, bleeding out. And it is at this point that Henri, I'm going to say Henri's in the salon car because he would have been talking to Amelia. So for the moment, no one has noticed.
Am I still under his control?
No, the moment he's unconscious on the ground, the control goes.
Yeah. And I kind of look at George and say, sorry, old chum, I'm not sure what exactly came over me. Let's get him back in. And I'm going to start trying to use some first aid to patch him up.
Oh, wow, okay. Go on up. Make your first aid roll. His bleeding is too much. You can't really staunch it. Unless you react very quickly, he will possibly die in the next few hours.
I kind of say to George, go get the doctor.
Which one? Dr. Worth? Professor Worth?
The woman who... I can't remember her name.
Oh, Carla Menkaph, the maid. The Russian maid. Yeah, the Russian maid. What is... And she just doesn't even bother to question. She just like grabs her bandages and comes and like runs with you. And she's just like muttering to herself under the breath. You people, what's he doing? What have I got myself into? I never have this problem before.
Yeah, I think Russian maids in the early 90s, this sort of thing would happen all the time. There's always someone being stabbed or shot or, you know.
You've clearly never met a Cockney before.
And she will patch up. Menkaph, stop the bleeding. Menkaph can have a winch back. But he's no longer bleeding out. He's still unconscious. No
And
idea
I'm
when he's
gonna-
going to come around.
I'm gonna, if there's anything I can use, I'm gonna tie him up and blindfold him.
There's plenty of bedding around. You can easily time.
That'll do.
Yep.
Yep, tie him up and blindfold him.
Okay, so let's recap. You've got the Whispering Fez. You've neutralized Menkaph. You've got a Fez. Is there anything that anybody desperately wants to do or talk to each other about? Because if not, I'm happy to call the session to a close here, and we can say that the Orient Express makes its way the rest of the way to Constantinople without any further incident.
Amelia just wants to probably get drunk if she can have another go on the harpsichord.
One thing I will say though, if that's what people are happy to do, I can do that. However, Scott Myers, the spell that you put on Scott Myers to stop the effects of the Fez, will wear off the next day and the day after. So I will require investigators two investigators or whoever sacrifice 5 points of power for the next day and 5 points of power for the day after to keep him stable. That's what you want to do. You don't have to do that, but it's up to you.
Who was it who did the spell the first time?
It was Dr. Polat who did the spell the first time. But I'm going to say that any of you can do it. I won't make you roll for it. I'll say that any of you can do it. But I will require 2 investigators to sacrifice 5 power.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like, I'd say go off who's got the most. I've got 87. So I'm happy giving up 5 to...
Okay. Okay.
I have 50. I'm happy giving up. So it'll be 10 in total, won't it?
Yeah, it's just 5. I just need 5 from each. 5 from one person to give you 5, another person to give you 5. Yeah.
Well, I've done 5, so that only leaves 5 for someone else.
Someone else just needs to do 5. Yep.
Are you doing it or am I?
I'll do it.
Okay. Cool. And with that, I think we'll say that the Orient Express continues on its journey. The next 2 days, nothing much happens. You arrive at Budapest at 11 o'clock. Past midnight, you arrive at Belgrade 5:40. Nice 10:57. Sofia 4:05. Nothing much really happens after the event. Everybody just seems like eager to get this journey over with. Even the count is like pretty quiet. And you arrive at Constantinople at 10:43. 4 days after leaving London. So that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. This will be Saturday. You arrive Saturday at 10:43 at Constantinople.
Can I ask you very, very quickly here? Just the guy we were supposed to meet.
Yeah.
Do we have any way of contacting him or Professor What's His Face?
Not on the train. Once you get to
Well, I think
Constantinople.
maybe some of the stops.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Would we possibly get for like I think
Yes,
you said Budapest and
Yeah, you'd have you'd possibly have time to send out wires to different people.
and I'll say, could you send the messages to the stops we're going to be at?
Yeah.
In your response.
So, what do you send? I'll let this happen. What do you send? You send.
Right. Expected to meet you at. Was it Vienna?
Vienna, yes.
Vienna. Where are you?
This is to the Baron von Hoffler of Vienna.
Yes,
okay?
yes. If we can get to him like directly. Oh, what do you want to send a telegram? Matters have escalated. forward messages to the various stops and/or Constantinople, and we'll get them there.
Okay. And do you send anything else? You say you want to send Professor Demir as well?
That would make sense. On our way again, matters have escalated somewhat. I don't want to put anything too incriminating in there. We've killed 2 guys, right? So just matters have escalated. We're heading. We've acquired some more items, and we'll see you soon. XXX. Smiley face.
Okay. So you say, I'm going to say probably because I can't imagine Emilio's being up at 5:40 even for telegrams like that. Once you get to Nice, you head to the station master's office, and you do get a reply from Professor Demir. Say, good to hear from you. We'll meet you at Sakechi Station tomorrow at 10:43. Disturbing to hear that Baron von Hoffler did not meet you. We'll discuss more when we meet. And there's no response to the other one from Baron von Hoffler.
That's good. I'll let everyone else know the situation.
Mm-hmm. And so, with that, I think that's where we'll come to an end to this chapter. And we will begin next week at Constantinople at Sakechi Station. Well, next month, not next week. I wish it was next week, but next month. So, as usual, we'll go around the room. Start from the other end this time. Sarah, what was your favourite part of the session?
I've really enjoyed playing someone with a phobia. That's brilliant fun. Really enjoyed doing that.
It really opens up, doesn't it? It's like what makes Call of Cthulhu unique in that you can you can play that sort of thing.
Absolutely. And it's like trying to work out how he would do with that as well, because he's very British professor chap. Would not sit well with him. But yeah, it's been really fun.
Steam 2?
I was just happy I didn't fall asleep. No, nothing against the game. I was just happy that I didn't. That I could actually join in this time.
Awesome. Richard?
Oh, killing 2 people, just massacring them. That was good, and probably just blowing someone's head off. Yeah. That because my understanding is in Call of Cthulhu, that's not what happens in combat. We don't win. And I've not even been scratched. So poor George is getting, every
George is
time
just like the
getting
meat shield.
Yeah.
Brian?
I don't know, just a little bits of character I've added to George, like him carving stuff on the ceiling, or just him going out and stabbing a dead body.
And One Winged Angel?
I think possibly the fact that despite all the precautions we've kind of set up to prevent Menkaph causing trouble, he's kind of nearly gotten away each time. I just narrowly kind of prevented it.
I think we should hobble him.
Hobble him?
Yeah, he'd break his ankles. And if anyone asks, he fell down the stairs that are on the train.
And for me, I just like the way this went. It's went in places I didn't even expect it to go. I just love that you guys just literally just ran with it. My scripted part of the session was the first 20 minutes, but after that it was all you guys and what you guys are doing. I just really love that. All the stuff like Professor Worth going insane, becoming afraid of Fezes. Emilio
in a Fez-based campaign.
In a Fez-based adventure, not quite a Fez-based campaign.
True.
Yeah. But yeah, I just really loved how it's all gone. Anyway, the journey continues next time when we arrive at Constantinople.